No one is perfect, not even the Uggs. But don't tell them I said that. Here are some screw-ups, edits, and extras from the last episode of The Ugly Truth. We call them Ugly Cuts.
Because of what he
was not glorifying them, but what's the word I'm looking
objectifying.
for? And so he was making sure, though, that they were not also being treated badly, though.
Right.
Beyond just, looks, let's say.
Right. And, a lot of those women became, that was a stepping stone to their careers, most of them.
A lot.
They utilized it for entertainment industry or what have you. But anyway, so I'm like, well, an end of an era or an end of a, huge, long ass decades and decades and decades. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Playboy now that he's passed. I don't know how much control he actually had. I know his children were kind of running it now. So I don't know what will happen, but we'll see.
Maybe there was a trust or something.
I believe there is. I mean, the mansion, I believe, has been sold to somebody who wanted desperately to be a part of the Playboy world, and they just wouldn't let him. So he bought the mansion contingent on the fact that Hefner could stay until he died. And I think that was like 5 years ago. So
yeah,
now,
I think I remember that.
Yeah. So, we'll see what happens. But I think he's a part of pop culture, and you can't deny, no matter what your feelings are on Playboy. I used to, everybody's dad had the Playboy magazines. Our dad did.
Victor was the one who actually mentioned it. I'm like, she just looks so, like her cheeks were kind of sunken in and everything like that. No. And I said, I wonder if that's from the Lyme disease. He's like, she might be anorexic. And I'm just, and he says, look at her legs, for God's sakes.
Were they like little sticks?
They were so skinny. Everything about her was so skinny. And then so I'm like, I wonder if it's from the Lyme disease.
I don't know anything. I know that it can render people completely unable to do anything, like bedridden. But yeah, I thought there was treatment. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about Lyme disease, but what I do know is that maybe they, maybe she asked to be eliminated or something. Like maybe she's just not doing well, so that she's like, I got to get out of here. At least let me do the one last dance and then just kick me off.
Could have been. And then let's see here. Nick Lachey and his wife, Vanessa Lachey, are both contestants on there. Mm-hmm. And they're partners with the other married couple, the professional couples on there.
Ooh,
so that's
swingers.
It's kind of exciting. Let's see, who else is on there that you would know, that you would like?
Well, we talked about it, and I told you the ones that I knew, and there was like 3. It was the Lachey couple, the guy from Property Brothers, and Debbie Gibson. Those are the only ones. I have zero interest in watching it, but because you always just tell me.
Yeah, then there's...
Is the Property Brothers guy doing anything? I mean, is he?
He is. They just keep telling him to stop being so gangly.
Oh, that's not hard to do. That's like asking a 12-year-old to do that.
Yeah, and he's just like, I'll work on that.
I'll work on not being gangly, as you say.
Yeah, he's like 6'4". I mean, I don't know what they want him to do. And then there's a couple of like football players on there. There's like Terrell Owens. Yes. He was a football player. There's a basketball player. I think his name is Derek Fisher or something like that. And then there's this girl who, I don't know if you heard the story, but like as of like 5 years ago, she used to be a Paralympic swimmer and things like that. And then she wound up going into like a vegetative state because she got this disease.
What's with all the diseased contestants?
They always have some sort of, invalid at some point.
Invalid.
And so she was completely conscious, but she couldn't do anything.
Oh my God, that would be like my hell.
Yeah.
Can you even imagine? I'd be like, I'm blinking because I want you to know that I can hear what you're saying.
So she was like that.
Stop talking shit about me.
She was like that for 4 years.
Oh my God.
And then she finally started regaining some of her movements back.
My first movement would be the middle finger.
She learned to walk again. So for the last 10 months, she's been learning to walk. So now she's on Dancing with the Stars.
So everybody's standing up and applauding every time she does dance.
Well, she's actually really good too.
I believe it. I believe you can fly.
But she was she was totally into sports, and so now she was an ESPN sports broadcaster, but she's really young. She's only like 23.
Wow.
So
that's a really long time.
It's interesting.
That is interesting. And here's the other thing. It's all in the southern states.
Most of the time, yeah.
It was Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. I was like, this is why people say it's this horrible.
Well, everything's fried.
Well, there's just reckless abandonment when it comes to food. I mean, they just eat whatever they want. No skills, no therapy, no nothing. Like, this girl's sitting and she pulled out a drawer and she goes, well, when I'm having a bad day, this is the drawer that helps me through it. And it's full to the brim with candy and cookies. I was shocked. And I was thinking, wow, you know what? This is beyond just being fat. This is just a mental, and this is like a mental disorder.
Well, a lot of them have, same thing with people who have like nervous breakdowns or like, remember how I told you about that show, Doomsday Preppers?
Yes.
Where people start hoarding things and like building things. There's usually a breaking moment in their life that causes them to start doing those things. And so it's the same thing with the people who, on My 600-Pound Life, there was a breaking moment in their life that caused them to turn to food. And a lot of these people, they either lost a parent or they were molested. They were put in foster care, or they were sent to live with their grandparents, or...
I guess I'm looking at it, and all I kept thinking was, where were your parents? Like, where was your family? Why? Like, this one guy who I think had some success. He had real success. His mother, who is not obese, her husband and her daughter both died because they were morbidly obese. Mm-hmm. What the hell was going on in that house that 3 of the 4 people are beyond morbidly obese and you're a rail? Like, what happened?
There's usually some sort of family secret that nobody wants to address. And that's why the doctor, he oftentimes, when they can't make progress, he sends them to therapy.
Yeah, because there's something going on.
He says there's something blocking your progress, and he says it's not your ability to exercise or to follow the diet. He says there's something else. So.
I just feel so... my heart hurt for them, because I thought, at what point did you look at yourself and go, yeah, I got to do something about this? I mean, my God.
Well, most of them don't. They just don't want to die because they know that doctor is it's the last stop.
Last straw. Yeah.
I really wish they had given us the packing list a lot sooner.
Yeah, because you would have been able to acquire things as they come. But most of it's, I mean, my advice to you is this. Send him with his socks and underwear that he currently has, and while he's gone, go to the store and buy more, because that stuff you're not going to even want to deal with. You won't even want to wash it. You'll just want to get rid of it. Yeah. It'll be one of those things where you'll be like, forget it. And if he has... I would also strongly suggest, if he sometimes they suggest hiking boots, that's fine. But get them cheap and just know that they'll be in the garage for the rest until he can't wear them anymore.
Right.
They're going to be trashed.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, and bug spray and all that stuff. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
That's probably a good idea too. They take good care of those kids.
They feed them well. They keep them safe. He's gonna have a really good time. So. Good for him and his rite of passage.
Well, it was these dang trees and like...
Well, there's wildlife in there. I mean, it's like a sanctuary for birds and cats, man. They're just everywhere.
These birds, they were everywhere. And you can't... If you walked under this certain type of tree, there was like these little tiny birds, and... You almost felt like a mist, but it was just... Oh. It was these birds. They were disgusting.
God, that is disgusting. That really is. I just felt like I was in a bad TV show. Turned around, yes. And I'm like, oh my God, she's blind. I mean, it was so obvious the second she turned around.
Oh, it was awful. Jeez, that is bad.
I know. I was like, oh, and then, then I'm in it. I mean, I'm laying on Daryl's lap at this point. I'm like, hi. I was like, what?
You could have said, your grandson is so cute.
Oh, she'd be like, what? What did you say? Oh God, I just
never mind.
Yeah, it just never was going to improve. So I had to follow through, but he stopped. So
That's good.
That. Thanks for checking out this week's Ugly Cuts. Join us for an all-new episode dropping every Sunday on your favorite podcast platform and, of course, uglytruth.com. That's UGLEE truth.com.